Let's go next to the Backyard Brawl, one of my favorite rivalries in all of college football. It's the Pitt Panthers taking on the West Virginia Mountaineers. It's going to be 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Just 75 miles right down Interstate 79, baby. We've all driven it. If you haven't been to this game, put it on your bucket list, man. It is awesome. It is. I don't care what it's for. I don't care what the stakes are. I don't care about the circumstances. The level of hostility in this game is amazing, and it's hard to replicate. And to get it in week 3, like we've gotten the last couple of years, is something that's awesome. I did notice, though, this is the final scheduled meeting between these two teams until 2029. Is that true? If that's true, let's get this fixed, man. This thing needs to be an annual fixture on the college football schedule. The home team has won each of the last 4 meetings in the Backyard Brawl, which should be a pretty good trend for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Last year, the Mountaineers were in great shape. They were up 34-24 in the fourth quarter before Pitt rallied with a couple touchdowns in the final 3 minutes to win the game on the field in regulation, 38-34. The coaching staff, Pitt's Pat Narduzzi, they arrive in Morgantown looking pretty good. 2-0 record, overwhelming force. Squad's been really efficient. They absolutely dismantled Duquesne. They took care of business against Central Michigan. They're scoring a lot of points. The point differential so far for Pitt, 106-26, pretty good place to start. I love their second-year offensive coordinator, Cade Bell. I think he's super creative, does a lot of nice things with their offensive system. On the other side, it's West Virginia's Rich Rodriguez. Started off really nicely against Robert Morris, 45-3, and then it was a deeply deflating performance in a road loss on the road to Ohio last week. That game was just painful, but it did feel like it was a bit of a look ahead, and there might have been some reasons why they didn't perform at their very best. We'll talk about them in just a little bit. But if you haven't watched Rich Rod in a while, system is the same. Spread option, wants to establish powerful rushing attack, versatile run game, utilize some tempo, control the clock, create some favorable opportunities with some play action stuff. The quarterback matchup's an interesting one. Pitt's Eli Holstein appears to have taken the next step as a player. Through 2 games, completing over 67% of his passes. He's got 519 through the year, 8 touchdowns, just 2 picks. He currently leads the ACC right now in passing efficiency and passing touchdowns. He's the first Pitt quarterback since 2003 to throw 4 or more scores in each of the first 2 games. On the other side is West Virginia's Nico Marchiol. Now, the run game was a little bit compromised last week. The top receiver got hurt in the game. More on that in just a moment. So the entire weight of the offense kind of feels like it's on Marchiol's shoulders. He kind of struggled to handle the pressure last week. The offense didn't have much rhythm, but he does have a victory over Pitt to his name. He beat Pitt 17-6 in 2023. He was the backup quarterback that had to come on in relief, but did spark a healthy team and a team that ended up winning that game in decisive fashion there a couple years back. Question number 1, how can West Virginia overcome the injuries? In a span of just a couple plays against Ohio, they lost 2 of their most dynamic offensive weapons. They lost their star running back in Jaheim White and their leading receiver, Jaden Bray, to season-ending injuries. Now, White, he was the undisputed leader of this Mountaineer offense. He was preseason All Big 12, had been the team's leading rusher in each of the past 2 years, and it felt like he was poised in this offense to have a massive season. He was the home run threat, and he was a player that was always capable of taking it the distance every single time he touched the ball. And then on the other side, Bray at wide receiver, he had already kind of established himself as a go-to guy. He was leading the team with 69 receiving yards for 4 catches against the Bobcats before the injury. And before White's exit, the Mountaineer ground game, after White's exit, the Mountaineer ground game kind of just went sideways. They had just 57 total yards on their final 26 plays. They had 6 consecutive scoreless possessions that ultimately sealed their fate. Now, the running backs that stepped in for Jaheim White were Clay Ash and Sincere Bowers. They were not effective in this game. Okay, Sincere Bowers had 26-yard touchdown run against Robert Morris. Clay Ash, those 2 guys, their collective performance against a MAC-level defense after the injury is concerning. So what was the team's greatest strength is now a legitimate liability going into a matchup against a really good defense. Number 2, can Pitt's offense stay hot? Holstein, I think, needs to start fast. Starting fast has been an issue that has at times kind of hurt Pitt, while Eli Holstein has been the starting quarterback, it'll be important for them to get off to a hot start in a very hostile Morgantown atmosphere to kind of take the crowd out of the game a little bit earlier. He does have a superstar next to him in Desmond Reed, preseason All-American, very, very good all-purpose back. He's great as a runner. He's great as a receiver. He's excellent in the return game. Like, he's one of my favorite players in the sport. He's not going to be the guy that leads you off the bus as far as height, weight, size, speed measurables, but just as far as a football player, the guy's off the charts good. He's fourth in all-purpose yards. He's a constant threat to score anytime he touches the ball. He creates a lot of matchup problems too. Kind of forces defense to account for him in the passing game. He gets a lot of one-on-ones with linebackers as a result. He also opens up opportunities for receivers like Raphael Williams, who currently leads the team with 166 receiving yards. And this is a solid team when it comes to third down and a really solid team when it comes to the red zone. Question number 3, will West Virginia's defense stand up? Now, they've only allowed 10 points a game, a figure that is obviously skewed by an overmatched FCS opponent in week 1 and against Ohio. But the Mountaineer defense kind of struggled at times to kind of contain the mobile quarterback for the Bobcats last week, and they got beat a couple times with explosive plays in the passing game, and they might be on the field a lot because right now West Virginia's offense have not been very good on third down conversions. They're converting less than 30%. That's 115th in college football, and they have lost the time of possession battle decisively. They've held the ball for an average of 23 minutes and 38 seconds in their first couple games. That is 132nd in the FBS. That will be really important in this game because this defense is solid, but they're not outrageously deep. So if for whatever reason West Virginia's on the field for prolonged stretches and they only hold the ball for 24 minutes in the game, that's a huge advantage in favor of the Pitt Panthers. Question 4, can Pitt's front 7 control the game? Look, a hallmark of Pat Narduzzi's system is built around one very simple philosophy. You will not run the ball. Stop the run at all costs. And through 2 games, the Panthers have the top-ranked rushing defense in the ACC. They're allowing less than 40 yards per game. They have compiled a remarkable 40-14 record when holding the opponent under 100 yards rushing. Now, the heart of this defense is Kyle Lewis. He's the linebacker, super disruptive, very, very instinctive. 11 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks this season already. He's got a lot of negative plays. He's always playing in the opponent's backfield, and the entire game plan kind of revolves on him being free and making plays, and they're going to be great on first down as well. If you can stuff West Virginia's running game on first down, that'll force the Mountaineers into obvious throw third and long situations where that super aggressive pass rush for Pitt can take over. Now, West Virginia's offensive line, it wasn't good last week. Couldn't generate a consistent push. And the brain trust, I think, is going to have to get very creative with jet sweeps, with quarterback draws, with screens, with misdirection to try to generate some positive yards. It might be a little smoke and mirrors, but that's okay. That can be helpful in a game like this. The pick for me, the Pitt Panthers. I just don't know how West Virginia's going to be able to move the football. Like right now, I know what I'm getting with Pitt's offense, and I know what I'm getting in the front 7 defensively from Pitt. I think it's going to be really hard for West Virginia to manufacture yardage without a trick play or 2 or a big play created or 2.